welcome back to Trudy Talks, or welcome if this is your first time finding my channel. I'm really excited that you're here. We are currently on tornado watch at the minute, so I keep keeping one eye on the window. It is super hot. We are, we've got storms, we've got hail coming, we've got possible tornadoes. We are in the middle of storm season. Actually, I kind of hope that we were out of storm season, to be honest, because we're into June. But these storms just keep a coming, don't they? In life and in the reality of weather. Yeah, meteorologists love a wee storm. Actually, on that, we have a brilliant team here in Decatur, in case you did not know. From my last episode, Decatur, which is the original home of the Chicago Bears. Go Bears! But we have a team called WAND, and it's our news team, it's our weather team, and they are fantastic. We have so much fun watching them. And there's a guy called Jim, and honestly, this guy has got it down. Like, there's also another meteorologist called Phil Collins. He feels it in the air. I'm sorry. It has been a joke in this house. It happens a lot. They're just a great team. And when there are tornado watches, when there's serious storms, they just have it on constantly until they pass. And you get to watch them all passing, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so this week has been an eventful one in regards to nature in our home. It has been an eventful week where animals are concerned. And at the end of this episode, I am going to share a little bit of video that my daughter actually took of a mother and baby deer in our back garden, because where else would they be? And it was incredible. She had left the baby there all day, and then she came back at around tea time and fed it and cleaned it and took it with her. And it was just the coolest thing, because we just stood and watched it happening before our eyes, and we'd never had anything like that. So we have lots of animals around here that I wouldn't be used to. We have squirrels, which I would be used to, because our home in Belfast actually had grey squirrels, but they don't count. We like the red ones. And we have red squirrels here, which is fantastic to watch. They're cheeky little monkeys, and they kind of get into everything, but they're very cool to watch. We have chipmunks, and actually our neighbours across the street are having a nightmare with chipmunks, and it's not because they're singing at their windows every night. Alvin, Simon and Theodore, you couldn't watch them. But what they're actually doing is they are digging up, they're like burrowing underneath their driveway and pushing their driveway up. There's no need for that. No need for that. They need to just sign another recording contract and get on with their lives. So yes, we have chipmunks. Kicking the camera. It's usual, really, isn't it? So we have chipmunks. What else do we have? We do have deer, which we see quite often. We have been hit by a deer. We didn't hit a deer. Any Gilmore Girls fans out there? We got hit by a deer. Yeah, we got hit by a deer. We did not hit the deer. My husband actually caught it out of the corner of its eye, out of a corner of his eye, as we were driving down this part of the road, and stopped just in time. Sorry, I just got a tornado watch warning. It's gonna happen. So we were driving down this road. It did have signs to say there would be deer. We weren't here very long, and we were driving down, and out of the corner of my husband's eye, he'd just seen something and stuck on the brakes, and the deer bounced off the front kind of passenger side panel at the front, bounced, rolled, got up and ran. And we're like, what on earth is happening? So we got hit by a deer. Deer seemed to be fine. Car, actually not so much damage. But we pay a lot more attention now. And a friend actually said the other day, it's not the first deer you need to look out for, it's the second one. Because where there's one, there's going to be another one. So yeah, deer are a part of our life now as well. Groundhogs. Oh my goodness, groundhogs. There's so many groundhogs. You go out and you drive down to the store, and there are just groundhogs everywhere. Too many groundhogs. Too many groundhogs. Too many groundhogs. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's another pop culture dad joke. The sun is now shining through my window and it's beautiful. But yeah, so we have ground hogs, not ground dogs. Snapping turtles. We have snapping turtles. I have seen one at the side of the road, probably not where it was supposed to be. They're kind of prehistoric looking, but the Lake Decatur has a lot of snapping turtles. They have like crazy big teeth. They're related to some like alligators or something. I'll not be in Lake Decatur, let's just put it like that. We also have snakes in Lake Decatur. Again, not getting into Lake Decatur. It's really pretty to look at. I'd absolutely go on a boat, and we will be with our neighbours in the coming weeks, but yeah, I'll not be in Lake Decatur. There's absolutely no need for that. No need for it. So yeah, I think, have I covered everything that we've seen so far? Raccoons. Seen raccoons, and they're my favourite. Yes, they are trash pandas. Yes, they look like little bandits with their eye masks on. But one of the greatest things I have seen since we arrived in America was when we lived in Normal. And we were driving just to the store, and there was an area where there was like a sort of water bit down near the bottom beside the road. And we looked down, and there was 4 raccoons, like a family of raccoons, standing, like looking up at us, like, why are you looking at me? Best thing I've ever seen. Didn't have the time to take a picture of it, but it is ingrained in my brain, and I just think they are the coolest. Maybe I think they're the coolest because they actually haven't been rumbling through my trash yet, but they can't get into the garage, so it's okay. Last thing I've seen is a coyote baby. I have a picture of that too. I might just stick it on here. It may be a picture of a coyote arriving somewhere here. Little baby one. Had to Google it, didn't know what it was. So yes, lots of animals. I love animals. I love birds. Red cardinals are one of the coolest things I have ever seen in real life. They're just beautiful birds. Hummingbirds, wow, hummingbirds are beautiful. Yeah, I've turned this into a little bit of a David Attenborough at the start of here, so yeah, I just thought I'd catch you up on some nice stuff before we talk about some not so nice stuff. Yeah, so we have a lot of animals, and we currently have taken in, and I say taken in, this girl is going to be staying in our home. We fostered 2 dogs, 2 pups at the start of the year, and so we fostered 2 little pups. Oh, our current pup is actually chewing the mat. I can see my husband out the corner of my eye. Yeah, sorry, that was a squirrel. So we fostered 2 pups that were about 12, like one was 12 weeks and one was 14 weeks. And the morning after we got them home, the girl who had given the dogs to us phoned and told us that yeah, they both had parvo. The likelihood was that they would have parvo. So very long story short, 5 weeks of $2,000 worth of care for these dogs, nursing them back to health, sleeping on the settee so that you were there in case they were sick. We nursed these dogs back to health. The vet said really they shouldn't have survived it, but they did. And then they went to separate homes. And really after that, we kind of just thought, okay, we really would prefer an older dog. By older, I mean like 2 years old. So we've been keeping an eye out for a pup to join the family, because the house has just felt so strange since Captain passed away nearly 2 years ago, and we just wanted someone who would fill that kind of space. So yeah, so we found Magnolia. Picture is here, Magnolia. She is a Great Pyrenees mix. We think lab mix or retriever mix, but she is just the most loving, gorgeous dog. She is, there's hair everywhere. And that's okay, because she's just one of the family, and we adore her already. She's so good. But she's so funny, because when you come out to meet her, she does this and kind of squints her eyes because she's so happy to see you, and her whole body shakes. So she's now part of the family. So Magnolia, she gets Mags, and yeah, we love her. We love her. Okay. So I posted a short this week, and if you've seen it, again, it was about Michael Tate of Newsboys and DC Talk fame. Another 6 men came forward, 2 of them minors at the time, to say that they had been essayed by this man, drugged, harassed, just horrific stuff. So I thought that what we would do just in this opening part is take a look at 1 week's headlines from a podcast and investigative journalists that are fantastic, and it's Julie Roy's, and it's the Roy's Report. If you're looking for it on Instagram, I will put it onto the notes in the description of this episode, but it's Reach Julie Roy's is her handle on Instagram. But I just wanted to share the headlines from just 1 week. This is 1 week, okay? So a lot of people wonder why this is what I've chose to do. I've chose to talk about abuse in the church. I've chose to talk about the things that people are doing that aren't holy, that aren't Christian, that aren't like Jesus. Why I have chose to do that. And the reason I've chose to do that is because I think that it is just as important as what Christians think is important, like telling people about Jesus. I think it's really important to tell people that these people do not represent Jesus. You can point out who Jesus is, but you got to point out the people who do not represent him, who can say that they do, but their actions and their lack of integrity and character prove that they do not represent the Jesus that any of us have looked at and thought maybe is somebody we could follow in the Bible. Yeah, so that's why I do it. That's why I talk about these things. Yes, I have my own story, and I'll always touch on it because it's what I am able to touch on. It's what I'm able to talk about, and I'll talk about that, and I'll be able to say the things that have affected me in my life because of it, and because of lack of leadership and doing the right thing. And I can definitely talk about that because that's what I've got to talk about. There's actually a girl this week called Jordan, and she is Deconstructed Faith, I think is her handle on Instagram, and I will actually put it in the notes as well because she's worth taking a look at. And she's doing an incredible job of just making sure that people do not get away with treating women or men in a way that is so un-Christ-like. And I have chatted a couple of times with her, and think she's fantastic. But this week she actually asked me whether I could write something to go on her Instagram page, and really she's putting together quotes from people who have faced some kind of trauma or abuse from a church environment or a religious environment. And she asked me to put down what it was like for me. Try to put into a few lines what it does to your life. So I'm going to read what I sent to her, and she's going to be posting it on her Instagram. And there are so many other quotes from other women who have said things that I completely understand. I think the sad thing is that we all have this. We're all in a club we don't want to be in, and it's understanding what it feels like to have those things happen in your life and the devastation that they cause. So I'm just going to read what I sent to Jordan this week. Trauma sustained from church abuse sucks the air out of your world. It shrinks your life when it feels like you leave the spacious place that you were promised and take refuge in a tiny box. Your worth is shattered, your soul is broken, your faith is forever altered, and your belief in a safe place is destroyed. Your body remembers and acts out. Your mind races and your ability to trust is decimated. Your life is forever changed and its direction is blown to smithereens. As dramatic as it sounds, your life is devastated in every way. And it was hard to kind of put into words exactly what happens, because there's so much that it's hard to kind of just settle on, or on one or two sets of words that kind of say how you feel. But you kind of have a thought or a hope for your life, and you're constantly moving towards that hope for your life, and then all of a sudden the spacious place kind of just closes down. And you take refuge in a tiny box, because it's the only place that you feel even a little bit safe, and even there you don't really feel safe. So I was really grateful that she has decided to include me in these quotes, and I will always stand with the victims and the people that have had things happen to them that have just destroyed their lives. And it's always going to be where I stand on that. So let me just share one week's headlines with you from Julie Roy's. First one was the Colorado megachurch and Texas Bible teacher Jimmy Evans and Pastor Brady Boyd deny knowing that Gateway People founder Robert Morris abused a 12-year-old girl. But court filings, internal emails, and eyewitness accounts, including testimony from New Life Church elders in Colorado Springs, suggest that they were aware of more than they now admit. Not a shock, really, is it? It's absolutely not a shock. The next one I think is fantastic, and I think I commented on it and was like, Missouri, nice job. I don't know why I've got so dark here. I've got very dark. I apologize for the darkness. Non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, for child SA victims are no longer allowed in Missouri, thanks to a piece of new legislation known as At-Trey's Law. This is a historic victory for child SA and trafficking victims, making Missouri safer for all by putting predators on notice, said Elizabeth Carlock Phillips, sister of the late Trey Carlock, for whom the law is named. Alleged abuse survivors of International House of Prayer, Kansas City founder Mike Bickle's abuse also praised the law. The banning of NDAs for child SA and trafficking victims is a huge gain for justice, said Tommy Woods, allegedly abused by Bickle starting at age 14. The tide is turning in the show me state as victims are being given back their voices. Anytime you see victims being given back their voices, it's so good and it's so important. And there's always a question of what side of history that you want to be on. And I know that I will never ever feel bad about being on the side of the abused, the broken, the victim, because somewhere in this brain that once lifted our Bible continually, there's just this sense that runs through it that the broken matter to God. It's just not rocket science. Let's move on, shall we? Oh, this was a good one. I actually watched the YouTube clip on this. So if you've heard of Kenneth Copeland, and listen, pretty much most Christians or pastors will say, oh, that guy's just this and this and this and this, and you wouldn't watch him, it's prosperity gospel, it's all that kind of stuff. So they have plenty to say about Kenneth Copeland and how they wouldn't have anything to do with his kind of teaching and the way that he gets on. And it is absolutely despicable. Like, any pastor who has one private jet, nope, I I don't know what to say to that. If you have more than one, why is the flip up, would you? Like what the, seriously. That's not even the best of it, you know, and they love it. They've got their Rolexes or their Omegas or whatever the flip they have on their arms. They have plenty of money. They have $1 million houses. Yeah, no. Anyway, Kenneth Copeland's grandson and his wife actually founded a church, and it's quite a big church, you know. I think there's like something like 2,000 people there. Can't be bothered telling you the name of it because I just don't want to know. I don't want anybody really looking for it because these people are absolute grifters. I think my favourite bit was the video that Julie Roy shared is of them coming back from their holidays where they had been to Europe for like a number of weeks. And there's pictures of them with their cups of coffee and visiting like churches in Bath in England, and all this stuff that they went to see. But the two grifters got up and basically said, you guys paid for this holiday, and the reason you paid for this holiday is that it was seed. You were paying for seed to be sown in England and other parts of Europe. Your money, you know, the money that you can't even afford to feed your children with. I mean, parts of America are like a third world country. Like it's really tough, and as there is everywhere. But these people sewed into their holiday with all of their kids in Europe, and then they had the audacity to get up and show a video and use scripture to point out that really these people who can't even afford to put gas in their cars to go and see the ocean for a day, that they paid for them to go around churches in England, all the other places that they went to, enjoy their coffees, and that they paid for that. So the church paid for that. So seriously, people, come on, not rocket science. Now, I'll say this. I have no problem, nor have I ever had a problem with pastors making a wage, a normal type of wage for really what they do, or lack thereof. I have no problem with pastors making a wage. I have no problem with whatever they do with their money. They can go on whatever holidays they want. That is not my business or my problem, because it's not it's something to do with me where they get their money from. But when you're so blatant as to get up in your church and say, listen guys, do you want to see the pictures from my holiday to Europe? It was so good. We had so much fun. We went to where John Wesley planted something and built a building, and you guys paid for that. Thank you so much. We had such a good holiday. We have sown. You guys have sown. And they used scripture to back it up, and it was disgusting, and I had to stop watching halfway through because grifters are gonna grift. No. Okay, right, let's look at this one. So we're back again to Robert Morris, and if you guys have read anything on Robert Morris, you're gonna know who he is. Again, I don't want to talk about him too much, but this was 5 days ago. A $1 million lawsuit just filed in Dallas County District Court alleges Gateway Church in North Texas covered up the rape and essay of a 12-year-old girl by its founder, Robert Morris. Morris is also under criminal indictment in Oklahoma on 5 counts of lewd or indecent acts with a child, and will stand trial there soon. The new lawsuit names Morris, his wife Deborah, Gateway Church, and more than a dozen current and former church elders and staff as defendants. Alleged victim Cindy Clemisher, who filed the suit with her father, said the purpose is to bring accountability to Morris and the people who enabled him and covered it up for decades. She added, "My hope is that bringing awareness to my case will help other victims and survivors feel hope." What an incredibly brave woman. That's just another stage up. This girl, Cindy Clemenshire, you're incredible. That's all I have to say about that. What you're doing is going to make such a difference. And if you're into things like ministry or something that you're here on earth to do, this here is something that people are put on earth to do, to draw attention to people who are covering up horrific things and then allowing them to continue. Yeah, the cover up. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Let's move on. Oh yeah. An Ohio pastor indicted for SA 2 teens in his care is preaching at a new church that defends him as a man of God. Seriously? Okay. Dominic 4 faces 23 felony charges but remains free on bond and is barred from contacting the alleged victims. But yet he is preaching in another church. This man of God is preaching. What a wonderful message he will have given. I'm moving past him. I don't want to look at it anymore. Yeah, obviously we had more comments about Michael Tate. Nothing more to say on that. Nothing more to say about it. Eastminster Presbyterian in Wichita admitted it ignored multiple reports that youth pastor Bodie Weiss molested boys until a lawsuit threat forced action. Weiss abused at least 23 students during his 17 years at the church. Okay. 17 years at the church, 23 victims that we know about, and nobody knew. Let's move on. Oh, there's a bit of a story about John MacArthur, who, hateful man, hates women so much, so much, hates them on with such vigor that I can only imagine what it is like to be a woman in his family. Hateful man. Nothing else to say about him. Don't really want to say anything other than they're really struggling financially in Grace Community Church because they've had to slash their spending by 20% following a donations shortfall. Oh no, people have stopped giving you money because we're starting to see who you are. It's called consequences of your actions, I think. The last story is about Jimmy Swaggart. Don't know a lot about him other than he had his own issues back in the 80s. Loves a wee bit of the prosperity gospel. Wants your money. Sang a wee bit. Yeah, and he's not doing so great. That's really all I've got for you on that. So we have a week of headlines that are, 1 week. 1 week. If you start following Julie Roy's, you will find that this is not an odd week. This is not it's a lot of stories in 1 week. No, this is normal. Sometimes there's a lot more. She also has done investigations into so many different people and areas that are yeah, it's just disgusting. There's a lot of stuff on Ravi Zacharias there, Mark Driscoll, Hillsong, all the good stuff. Bethel. Seriously, if you're still listening to Bethel, go and do a deep dive on these people. I think one of the best things I've seen is how Jen Johnson has talked on numerous occasions. If I can find the video, I'll throw it up here for you. About how she sees the Holy Spirit as the genie from Aladdin.
Okay. And this will kind of probably offend you, but oh well.
And the Holy Spirit to me is like the genie from Aladdin.
I view the Holy Spirit like the genie from Aladdin. And he's blue. unplanned, perfect. And he's funny, and he's sneaky, and he's courageous, and he's everywhere, and he's wonderful.
That's who he is to me. And he's funny. And he's sneaky. He's silly. He's wonderful. And I view him like the genie from Aladdin. I don't know where in my life that just kind of like came up. Maybe when I was like 10, I don't know, but because he's there, you know? And he's the helper, and he's just always supportive and comforting, and he's just fun.
And yet, you're singing about the goodness of God and what they have written, and giving them plenty of money to let them keep going. Because if they write a good song, really that's all that matters, isn't it? Yeah. I do believe that that is the most important thing. If they can write a really good song, they can do whatever they want. I think that's the gist of what is happening in the Christian spheres these days. I don't think I have much more today. I'm going to keep an eye out for these tornadoes, because although we haven't had one yet, Oz is not somewhere that I wish to be. No. Plus I'm just starting to get the house sorted. I don't need it to end up somewhere else. So we're going to keep an eye on the tornado watch. We are going to head into 34 degrees at the weekend, and we have a guest coming, which is really exciting for us, especially Sophia. But I would say this: pay attention. When people tell you who they are, believe them. Just believe them. If they act a certain way, they're telling you who they are. Believe them. And make decisions based on wisdom and knowledge. Don't just sit around giving your money to places that somewhere deep inside you have a real uncomfortable feeling about, or you have an uncomfortable feeling about the leadership there. Make wise decisions about where you spend your time, the people you spend your time with, and where you give your money to. So on that note, I am going to finish this video with some footage from my week so far. I'm also going to share with you my fun trip out the Sams the other day, where yeah, it was a wet day. So I'm just going to share that for funsies, because sure, we should laugh a wee bit, shouldn't we? I know I do. I'm going to share the footage of the deer. Really good that you've been here. I'm really, really glad and grateful that you are taking the time to watch these videos. I have blathered a lot today. As always, I am not hitting stop. I am not, I am doing this in one take, because I think that's when you're really going to see who I am, and I'm not trying to put on anything that I am not. I am not perfect. I have made my mistakes. I will continue to make mistakes my whole life through, and I know who I am. And yeah, Trudy likes to talk now, and it has been such a long time that I'm just having so much fun with this. Please leave a comment down below. I really want to hear from you guys. Tell me your stories. I am interested. I want to know. I want you to know that you're not alone. And if you enjoyed this episode, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell. And I will talk to you again next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. Happy Monday. My hair's looking so nice today. I use one of those really, the brushes that dry your hair at the same time. Been loving those. Getting this big hair. I don't know what's happening here. But I'll just say that it looks pretty now. But this is what it's doing here. It's 27 degrees. It's super hot. It's super humid. And I'm gonna look like Monica in the Barbados episodes when I come back So it looked nice. It started out good. I'll maybe show you the after. Hope you're having a good Monday. So as I was saying earlier on, just a story back, it's kind of raining here today, and my hair was so pretty, and now it's the trail through the bush backwards look, which I wasn't going for today. In good news, it's gone. Yeah, so curls are kicked in. It's a good day. Sorry, the footage isn't great on this one, but you can see the mummy just on the other side of the fence, and she actually just like did one big bound and came back into our garden, took her baby and left and went down the road. So yep, kind of cool to see them in your back garden.